If you said that Cardiff Norwich was going to be 7th versus 17th at the start of the season, you would have predicted that it would have been Norwich, the Canaries, flying higher than the Bluebirds. But in actual fact, this weekend, it's Cardiff that sit 10 places higher than their travelling visitors. Let's check in with our Bluebird expert, James. Good evening, James.
Evening, Mark.
How are we this week?
Every week it just seems I feel there's another week closer to survival than last season, so it's all good.
It's another point on the board. Shall we? What we're going to do in this section is we'll talk about the Stoke game. I also want to talk to you about Rubin Colwill and Josh Bowler and Alnwick as well, because there's some stunning performances from each of those three. Let's talk first of all about Stoke and your visit last week to the Midlands. What was your view on the game?
Should have brought a book with me. That's how I can sum it up. Yeah, I mean, one or two chances for either side. I thought in the second half we had the better chances, but yeah, it's just not a great game for the neutral.
Did you just about shade it, do you think?
I think Stoke sort of started the better team, but I think in the second half we had the better chances to definitely win it. We had the chance right at the end, went for a corner then. Yeah, we could have won it, but a point on the road away at Stoke isn't a bad point, especially the form they were in before playing us.
Yeah. After the game, on Twitter and other social media, Rubin Colwill was coming in for some high praise, not only from Cardiff fans, but of course from Stoke fans as well. Give us your view on Colwill.
Yeah, I mean, since that Bristol game, he's come into a little bit of form now. He started on the bench against Stoke, but he came on and sort of, made a bit of an impact and sort of made us create a lot more chances that probably, made us play the better sides within for the last 20 minutes. So, yeah, Colwell's doing good, but it's just maintaining him and making sure he's not getting injured all the time now.
Yeah. And just a word on Josh Bowler as well. How good was he?
Yeah, Josh Bowler, yeah, again, creative, running at the defenders is what he does. He's done it well for Blackpool last season. He's doing it well for Cardiff. He's had one or two injuries this season, but on the whole, as a player, he's doing great.
7 points then, and 3 clean sheets from your last 3 outings, and of course it's at home, as we've mentioned so many times, where you've picked up so many of those points. Then, so you must be absolutely delighted that Norwich are in town this weekend. Then, how do you view this one?
Championship is always a difficult game wherever you play. It don't matter. But the thing is, as well, I don't think Norwich's form like this will go on forever. Of course, you have to get a win at some point. And to be honest, yeah, we're playing well at the moment, but it's the Championship. Anything can happen.
Okay. The last time that you played Norwich was last year. The first game of the season, if you remember.
Yeah.
And there was red cards for both sides in that game. In fact, the last 2 times you've played Norwich, there's been red cards for Cardiff players. Perry and G last year. The side that he should pick then to play Norwich, does he need to make any changes to the Stoke starting 11?
I would like to see Colwell brought in from the start. I think that he deserves a chance to start after his recent performances, and I think that Atete, another player off the bench that come on Saturday, he was quite a handful for the defenders. So I think Colwell and Atete should be coming into the starting 11 this weekend.
As alternatives to Callum Robinson and Mighty?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, that's what I would say, yeah.
All right, we'll get your predictions in a second. Let's pause you there and we'll bring in our resident Norwich fan. Thanks, James, for a second. Okay, this is the Norwich view, and it can't get any worse, can it, Dom?
Oh dear. No. Down to 17 17th or stuck in 17th place. I predicted 2-1 in the last game against Blackburn. It was 3-1, so the boys let me down even more. I've got a little story about the game, actually. I was going to go. I've got a season ticket at Carrow Road, and I had 5 minutes to make my mind up whether I should go or watch it on Sky in the warmth with a nice Belgian beer in my hand. And I gave up. I actually stayed at home and watched the game. So I left my season ticket seat empty, and I just couldn't be bothered, really. And after 8 minutes, it proved to be correct. Norwich were just cut open by Blackburn after 8 minutes, and then 15 minutes it was 2-0. So the Belgian beer turned out to be much needed. We just can't explain it. We've got such a poor defence. I keep saying this every week, but we can see goals for fun. Shane Duffy again, I think it was, who let their player in. He's so slow at turning. All you have to do is just dribble around him and you'll score. We had a new 20-year-old playing Warner because Ben Gibson's injured. So he played alongside Shane Duffy, and he actually played okay. He looked far more assured than any of his more experienced players, and he put in a good tackle and clearance. He was at fault, obviously positionally, but as a young defender, you're going to expect that. I think it's only his first start in the Championship, so obviously with Gibson injured, we do have a lot of injuries. So yeah, the next game against Cardiff is going to be tough. They're on a good run. They're 7th, I think. We're 17th. As you said, you wouldn't have expected that to be the positional situation, but I think we'll lose. I think we'll lose 2-1. As I say, we can't keep a clean sheet, and the only person that can score for us at the moment is Gabriel Sara, one of our midfielders, Brazilian midfielder, who knows yellow and green quite well. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 to Cardiff, unfortunately.
The international break is never good for managers because it gives the directors and owners time to make decisions. Do you suspect that win, lose or draw against Cardiff, that this is Wagner's last game?
That is the question on the social medias at the moment. Within Norwich fans, we know whose game it will be the last, which is our sporting director Stuart Webber. He has been it's been brought forward. I did say last game was the 27th, or he was here till the 27th of November, but it's actually the owners have actually stepped up, and in response to a Canaries Trust letter to the owners, they've actually stepped up and brought forward Stuart Webber's leaving date, so Cardiff will be his last game. But he's picked an away game to do it because he doesn't want to face the flack of the home fans at Carrow Road. So our sporting director of the last 6 years, who's left Norwich in a terrible financial situation. The accounts have just been published that I've read, and we made an operating loss of £27 million, and our debt is now at 70 million. It's a record debt. So that is all thanks to the sporting director Stuart Webber, who leaves on against Cardiff.
Right. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Back onto footballing matters then. So heading to Cardiff, you've got some big issues in defence, haven't you? Shane Duffy to suspended. You mentioned Gibson and Hanley already on the sidelines. What does he put into that back line? Well, who does he put in that back line? Sorry.
Who does he put into it?
Yeah.
So I'd go with Warner again, the 20-year-old. There's not much else they can really do, so they're gonna have to play Duffy in there, as you say. Hanley's still in recovery. He's due back soon. I think he played an under-23 game recently, so he'll be back soon, which is much needed. Gibson's out till Christmas, so he's just gonna have to go with Duffy and Warner again. The fullbacks were also at fault, not tracking back enough. We don't have a central defensive midfielder. Kenny McLean's been playing there, and he's not good enough at all for that role. He can't tackle well enough. So we've got a soft centre really. So just, if you want to score, just go through our centre really. There's not much really we can do with personnel because false nine, plays up front by himself, but then tracks back because he's actually a midfielder. But I'd like to see him as the sort of most attacking player. And then we've got obviously Jonathan Rowe, Placheta, who's a left winger, plays for Poland. He came on against Blackburn, and he actually put in some really good crosses from the left. He's got really good pace. When he was signed, they said he could outrun a cheetah, but we'll have to see. But yeah, he put in some good crosses, so I'd like to see him start as well.
Okay, let's get some predictions then. Just pause there for 1 second. Okay, fascinating one then this weekend. Cardiff Norwich, let's get some predictions. James first.
So you know me, I'm normally quite shrewd with my predictions, but I'm going to be a bit optimistic this week after recent weeks. I'm going to go 3-1 Cardiff.
Oh, okay, bold. And to you, Dom.
Yeah, I'm going to be cynical as usual, just because of how Norwich are playing at the moment. So 3-1's not a bad call, not bad at all, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Cardiff. Because we have no defenders. We have absolutely no defenders you've just told me Shane Duffy's suspended. So, yeah, 2-1 Cardiff.
Well, enjoy the game both. We'll catch up with you both after the international break. Thank you very much.
Right.
Cheers, fellas.